Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. It is the day after the big one, Manchester City versus Arsenal, the calm after the storm, which wasn't much of a storm in the end really. It did end Man City 0, Arsenal 0. And look, I'll take it. Obviously we wanted, as from an Arsenal point of view, we wanted to go there and win. But to go there and not lose, I think is a very big point in the title race. There's a lot of people who seem to be putting it down and now, Liverpool are strong favourites. I don't personally agree with that, and I'll go into why in a bit. But I think it's a big point and a big result for Arsenal. It should be a big confidence boost. And if I'm an Arsenal player in that dressing room, I'm now looking at these last 9 games thinking we can win all 9 of them games and we can win the league. Because I genuinely believe Liverpool obviously currently top. I think they're 2 points ahead of us, but I believe Liverpool will drop points in at least two games, in my opinion. I don't think Liverpool are great. I don't know how Liverpool were up there. But let's see. They could prove me wrong, and they could end up winning it, of course. But if I'm an Arsenal player, if I'm Mikel Arteta, every coaching staff, everyone around them, I'm looking at them and I'm saying, boys, you can do this. Really, you can do it. And I genuinely believe Arsenal can win all remaining games and end up lifting the title at the end of the season. So let's just talk through the game quick. Look, from a neutral point of view, I can imagine it was a very hard watch. It was a very boring game, not much happening at all. In terms of chances, no team really had any, really. Ake had a header from a corner quite early on that seemed to just fall into Raya's hands with no real pace behind it. Haaland had kind of a half chance towards the end where he finally broke free from Saliba and Gabriel, and he's missed the ball completely, let it go off the pitch. Arsenal had a couple of chances on the counter-attack, and as much as people were, I've seen a lot of people slating Arsenal, saying, oh, they parked the bus, they played for a point and all this. I mean, I don't give a fuck, to be honest, to be honest with you. But we had the better chances on the break. We just didn't quite capitalise on them. And, it probably is quite tough. You're defending quite a lot in the game, as you are going to do when you go away to City. But when them chances come, your brain might not be quite as fresh. Your legs definitely ain't as fresh to make that right pass, to make the right choice and stuff like that. So so yeah, it was a very even game. I don't think any team deserved to win it. I think a draw was fair. And look, we've played City twice this season now, and we haven't conceded a goal, and that takes some doing. This was City's first time in 57 games, nearly 3. I think it was about 3 years where they've not scored a goal at home in the Premier League. So it shows what Arsenal are up against, and they've got some unbelievable players who we completely kept out of the game. Like, you look at Haaland, he's top 2 strikers in the world. For me, he's number 2. I don't think he's anywhere near Harry Kane, personally. In 2 games against us, he's barely had a kick. Saliba and Gabriel just absolutely dominated him, and we will speak about those two in a minute. But look at Kevin De Bruyne, for me, the best player, the best midfield player Premier League's ever seen, best midfielder in the world. Didn't do anything really. The most dangerous he looked is when he was taking these corners or free kicks. Bernardo Silva, who's an unbelievable world-class player, didn't do anything. He turned Kivior inside out a couple of times, but that's about it. Foden, anonymous. So just a fantastic defensive performance from Arsenal, and it's one that I think the boys can be proud of. Look, don't get me wrong, a lot of our big players didn't do much. Odegaard done a lot from a defensive point of view. He pressed as much as he could. He got back into his shape, and he was okay on the ball at times, but wasn't great. Saka wasn't. First half especially, Saka was really poor. I felt second half he played a lot better, but again, most of his good work was done going backwards rather than forwards. Jesus the same, Havertz the same. So as much as I'm saying their big attacking players didn't turn up, ours didn't either really. But defensively, my God, did we turn up. We were absolutely unbelievable. You look at Ben White, brilliant again. Whoever he was up against, whether it was Grealish, Foden, whoever it was, I don't remember anyone going past him once. He was in the first half, he was our only real attacking threat when he was breaking forward and going on the overlap. He was brilliant, Ben White, really, really was. Saliba and Gabriel, wait, before I talk about them, Kivior, look, I thought he struggled in the beginning, and I was worried about him, like I said in my preview, but he did recover and he did start playing well. Like the first exchange he had with Bernardo Silva's run at him, popped it through his legs and ended up winning a free kick. So, but look, Bernardo Silva could do that to any fullback. Bernardo Silva is one of the best players in the world, and Kivior's not a natural left back, but I think he started to do really well in the end. So, fair play to Kivior. I thought this game was too big for him, but he proved he can do it. And then Saliba and Gabriel. I mean, no one can tell me that these aren't the two best centre-backs in the league. It's definitely alongside Virgil, obviously Van Dijk at Liverpool. They're definitely the top three, but in terms of a pairing, these two are unbelievable. And the way they marked Haaland out of this game was just... It was sort of a classic technique, as Gary Neville kept saying, you know, one go really tight and the other sweep. You know, Gabriel went so tight and aggressive with him. And, you know, Gabriel, you're not going to... Haaland's a big boy, so to bully Haaland's not easy. And he will win the odd flick on here and there. But anytime he did win a flick on or anything, then all of a sudden, Saliba was just round on the cover just to clean it up. And it was just... They just absolutely dominated him physically, tactically, everything. He didn't have a kick. And it was... brilliant to see. Saliba got man of the match in the game, which I thought was wrong. I thought Gabriel should have got it, because first half I thought Saliba played really bad. Not defensively bad, but on the ball he was terrible. Anytime he had the ball, he looked awkward, he looked big, he looked clumsy, kept giving it away, kicking it out of play. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? You're meant to be our calm at the back, but he wasn't. But then second half come around, you know, maybe he calmed down a bit during half time. Then he was brilliant on the ball, as well as still being brilliant as in his defensive duties. So they did give him man of the match. I probably would edge it towards Gabriel personally, but both of them were fantastic, and they're now becoming world class centre backs in my personal opinion. They're just brilliant. The way they complement each other, the partnership's fantastic, and if these two stay fit from now till the end of the season, we can win the Premier League. They say defences win titles, and if that's the case, we've got the best chance in my opinion, because our defence is better than anyone else's. And not just obviously the back four, but when you put Declan Rice in front of them, who again was defensively amazing on the ball. A lot of us we weren't great on the ball as a team, but our commitment to our defensive duties was brilliant. The way Declan Rice would just get back all of a sudden, you know, you think City are breaking and bang, he just sweeps across, takes the ball off whoever's got it. He put one brilliant tackle in on Rodri on the edge of the box. That was just so good to watch. He's a difference maker in this team, and if we go on to win anything, he is a massive reason why. So look, for me, like I said, it's a big point gained in the title race, and I genuinely believe now. And if you've watched any of my stuff before, you know after Fulham, I thought the league was completely done, and I didn't think we could get back into a position where I believed Arsenal could potentially go on and win it. But now, I'm at a point where I think we've got a really big chance to do it, and I genuinely believe we can win all 9 games and win the title, because I think it will have to be, you have to win 9, because I think City will probably win all 9 of their games. And I don't think Liverpool will. People say Arsenal have the hardest running, and I agree, we do slightly. But you look at who Liverpool got to play as well. They've got to go to Old Trafford next week. United, Liverpool, biggest rivals. United will be desperate to beat them. They just beat them in the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago. That's massive. Goodison Park, they've got to go. And yeah, okay, I know Everton aren't great, but Everton are scrapping for their lives. Again, Liverpool's local rivals, their second biggest rivals, they're going to desperately want to beat them as well. They've got to go Villa away, West Ham away, Fulham away, and people are sort of writing off Fulham, West Ham as if they're shit. No, they ain't at all. Fulham away has been a tough game for anyone to go to. They beat us. Who else did they beat recently? They beat Spurs, didn't they? Yeah, they battered Spurs. It's a tough place to go, Fulham away. They're not a bad side at all. They've got that striker, Rodrigo Muniz, who's in unbelievable form at the minute. So Liverpool have got a really tough run as well. And And I think people were dismissing some of the teams who Liverpool have to play. And I think Liverpool are going to struggle. Because when I watch Liverpool, it feels to me like us last season. All very chaotic and emotional. You know, they went 1-0 down very early on to Brighton yesterday. Ended up getting the 2 goals back. But then towards the end, it weren't controlled. You know, it was sort of like a basketball game. They kept letting Brighton come through. And Brighton, you know, with a little bit more quality, could have scored another goal, 100%. So, yes, Liverpool at the moment, in terms of league position, are technically favourites. But I do see them dropping points. And I think if Arsenal just repeat what we done last season, which is beat everyone we played, everyone who we have in the running, bar Luton, who obviously wasn't in VM League, we beat last season in the same fixtures. So we have to be confident that we can do it again. We've got a better team, a better structure. We're getting all our players back, so the squad looks a lot better. Like, if you looked at the bench yesterday, we had Martinelli back on it, Vieira was back on it, Tomiyasu, Smith Rowe, Nketiah, Partey. You know, the bench is so much better now, because everyone seems to be back. So fingers crossed, we keep everyone fit from now until the end of the season. We can win all 9 games, and I truly, truly do think that. So, look, in my opinion, good point for Arsenal. Anyone who's crying about it, neutral fans, Man City fans, as if, you know, we're supposed to just go there and just let City beat us like we have done for the past 15 fucking years. Keep crying, I don't give a fuck. Good point for Arsenal. And now we move on. Actually, before we do that, let me go through my player ratings, because I think I probably should do. Raya, very untroubled. Some of his kicking was fucking terrible. Kept slipping all over the place. But overall, I thought he'd done well. Thought he was quite composed, which was the opposite to what he was at the Emirates in the reverse game. But yeah, didn't have nothing to do, so I'll give him a 7. White, I'll give him an 8. I thought he was brilliant. Kivior, probably, he did get done a couple of times, but I think he recovered, and that for me was a big thing. So I thought once he got twined a couple of times, he might struggle, but fair play to him. I'll give him an 8. Saliba and Gabriel, I'm going to give them both. I'm going to give them both a 10, which is maybe a bit keen. But when you play against Haaland at Haaland's ground and you stop him and De Bruyne and that all playing and getting chances, what more could you possibly ask for? I'll give them both a 10, with Gabriel, with my man of the match. I think he was just slightly better throughout the whole game. Declan Rice, I'll give a 9. I thought, again, his defensive work was fantastic. Jorginho, didn't really see much of Jorginho, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know, but he didn't have much of the ball. Didn't do necessarily much off it. I think he was more like someone who's just organising everyone else, but I'll give him a 7. Odegaard, I'll give a 7. Again, didn't have as much influence as he wanted. There was a couple of times he opened them up towards the end when he put a through ball to Trossard. Trossard probably should have squared it to Martinelli, and we potentially might have won, but yeah, I'll give him a 7. Saka, I've got to give him a 6, because he was quite bad, like really bad on the ball, but defensively he helped out a lot, and he helped White out a hell of a lot, so fair play to him. But yeah, it wasn't his day on the ball. I'll give him a 6. Havertz, I'll probably give Havertz a 7, maybe. I think he was slightly better than Saka. And one thing he did do a lot, which is why I think he kept him on for the whole game, is anytime they had free kicks or corners, look how many of them he headed away. So yeah, I'll give him a 7. Wasn't great, but wasn't bad. Jesus, probably a 7 as well. Probably guilty. You know, he had some of our bigger chances. One at the back stick early on, which he touched and then shot and then dragged it wide. Another time when he faked a couple of shots, dragged it wide again. Had another chance, could have hit it earlier, and he didn't. So he was a bit frustrated in front of goal, but I think he did do a lot of good stuff going backwards. And look, at least he was getting into position to have the chances. So I'll give him a 7 as well. Subs, they didn't really impact the game. I'll give them all standard 6s, I think. But yeah, big point. And actually, someone else I want to talk about, Mikel Arteta. I don't really speak about Arteta a lot in this on this channel. I don't think I've ever really spoken about him too much, but I think he's got to start getting massive credit now, and I think he does. He gets a lot of credit, and I think a lot of people are waiting for him to win something till they rate him like really highly. But what he's done for this Arsenal team, the shit he come into, the absolute mess of a club he come into, and he's turned us around in what, 4 or 5 years to be one of the best teams in the league and going for a title again, being back-to-back title run-ins. The way he set this team up, I mean, I used to I used to go to games like when Arsenal were playing away at the Etihad and Anfield. I used to pray for just a 1-0 loss, because I was so scared of getting battered, which we did numerous times. When, you look at the defence, we used to have like Holding, Chambers, Mustafi, Kolasinac, fucking Bellerin, Lichtsteiner, and people like this. And you used to go there and just pray that you didn't get absolutely mugged off. But now we've turned into a team where, we can say we're quite down that we didn't actually win at City. We've got 4 points off City and Liverpool respectively this season. Like, that's brilliant from us. We've got proper men in the team now. You look at, like I said, we had Mustafi and Holding and people like that, and now we've got Saliba, Gabriel, White, Tomiyasu, Kivior. Declan Rice. Declan Rice, what a signing he's been, man. And Thomas Partey, I know he's been heavily frustrating with his injuries and stuff, but when he come on yesterday, I thought he started to look all right again. He still didn't look quite himself. Still looked quite rusty, a little bit slow, a little bit some silly like decision makings at times. Like when he tried to hit a volley from 30 yards out. Don't know what the fuck he was doing there, but you still saw glimpses of Partey of what we've been missing this season. He did start getting on the ball and calming things down, playing through the lines to Odegaard and stuff. So, just what a job Arteta's done, and I pray that the boys can go on and win it for him now, and he can start getting, the sort of praise he deserves. If he beats Pep and Klopp to this title, he's got to be rated as one of the best coaches in the world. I don't care what anyone says. It's a massive, massive task, but it's one that I now genuinely believe Arsenal can do. And we move on to Luton. I'll just quickly, I'll go through the quick preview of Luton now, because there's not too much to talk about, really. We've got Luton on Wednesday in the Premier League at home. And look, it's quite simple. If you want to win the league, you have to beat Luton. It's quite simple. However, in the reverse fixture, it did take us till the last kick of the game to beat them in that crazy game at Kenilworth Road. Declan Rice getting the winner with, like I said, virtually the last kick of the game. Or the last header of the game, shall I say. Odegaard putting the ball in, Declan Rice getting in front of his man and heading us the winner in a 4-3 win. And look, I really like Luton, and I really hope that Luton do stay up. And after this game, I hope Luton win all of their games from now until the end of the season. But we've got to put them away, and I want us to put them away quite convincingly. Keep our goal difference as high up as possible, because there's a good chance it might come down to goal difference. So we have to try to keep our goal difference the best in the league, which it is at the moment. Look, Luton played Spurs the other day. I didn't watch the game, but from what Tim Sherwood was saying on Sky, they seemed to be quite open against Spurs, and they really took it to Spurs. They did obviously go 1-0 up quite early, and they held them out for as long as possible. But I just think if they play like that against us, and they're quite open, and they're trying to go quite direct against us, then we should really turn them over quite easily. Look, they do have some threats. They've got great pace and power on the counter attack, which is what they're going to be looking to amuse. Ross Barkley's been fantastic. He's been like the player he was years ago, sort of thing. He's been absolutely brilliant. Well, maybe not even like he was years ago. Years ago, he's probably a bit more exciting and up and down. But he's been so good in the middle, controlling games for them, making impacts in games. He's been really, really good. So much so that some people were saying his name for England in the Euros, which, a year ago, you wouldn't even have thought of Ross Barkley. So they do have their threats, but it's quite simple. If you want to win the league, you've got to win all the rest of your home games, but you've got to be beating Luton home and away. Look, like I said, tactically, I think it is one of just controlling their counter-attack. And with the players we have, we should be able to do that quite well. And then just being patient, because they could prove to be quite a stubborn outfit, so don't get frustrated. and start making stupid decisions. If we can get an early goal, great, it will settle everyone down. But if it does start going on longer, say if it's 0-0 at half time or anything, no panicking, just keep playing, and we will open them up eventually, and we should win the game. I think there will be some changes in this game. So predicted 11. I think Raya, obviously Raya will still play. Ben White probably keep his place. Saliba and Gabriel, imagine, will still play. I think Zinchenko will come into this game as, you know, sort of that creative left back, and he's the sort of person who can get on the ball, move into them pockets, and open them up if they are keeping a deep block. But yeah, I think he will come in. It wouldn't surprise me if he does stick with Kivior, but I think Zinchenko will probably come in for this one. And in the midfield, I think we might see a change. I don't think Jorginho will start this game. I think Rice might just sit there as the 6, and we might look to get Odegaard and Havertz as the 2 in front of him again, as we have done a few times this season. If you look at some of the other games we've played against the teams at the bottom of the table, he has tended to put Rice as the 6 and then Havertz and Odegaard in front of him, or maybe Odegaard and Smith Rowe, whoever it might be. So I think it'll be Odegaard and Havertz in front of him. Saka did limp off against City, but Arteta said it was just through fatigue, so he should be fine. So Saka on the right, Jesus through the middle, and I don't know if Martinelli's quite ready to start yet, so I think Trossard will probably start on the left. And it should be a game that hopefully we win. I'm hoping for a decent 3-0 win Arsenal, but let's see. We always seem to concede goals at home, so I might change that to 3-1 Arsenal, but I'm hoping we're going to keep another clean sheet. Doing really well in terms of clean sheets in the league, aren't we? We've got, 12 clean sheets in the league. Ray has got 10 of them, so defensively, we are proving really brilliant. And then, like I said earlier, if defence wins titles, as they say, then we're in with a brilliant shout. But yeah, 9 games to go, starting with Luton on Wednesday, and then we go to Brighton on Saturday. So the main thing I see causing us the problems are the quick turnarounds. But look, we've got a squad to deal with it now, so it's up to Arteta to rotate at the right times. Players got to try to keep themselves as fit as possible. The rest and recovery has to be good. And yeah, let's fucking go for it, man. I really got a good feeling that we can do it now. I'm not saying Arsenal will do it, but I really think we've got a really good chance. So let's go for it. Crack on. Starting Wednesday. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. How did you see on the game? Are you happy with the point, or are you annoyed? And yeah, what do you think, honestly, our title chances are now? Because, like I said, a lot of people say Liverpool are strong favourites. I just don't see it with them. I get you have to say they're favourites because they're top at the minute, but I just don't see it with them. I really don't. Can City still do it? Of course they can, but will they? Who knows? So yeah, who are your guys' winners? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Talk to you after the Luton game, and hopefully we'll be celebrating a big 3 points and moving on to Brighton. Take care. Enjoy your last day of your bank holiday weekend, and yeah, talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.